Hi, everyone. I am here with Ronnie Wright. We're going to talk about some changes that have occurred with solar that happened in April 1st. But first, before we get there, I know some people have been solicited. Ronnie, some of these families are saying, yeah, you can get free solar. Free solar.
Free doesn't exist in the real world.
Right.
So we all see the ads either on TV or obviously if you're doing any social browsing online, you'll see the ads, get your free solar, get it today. And these 10, 11 states are offering free. The key there is it's just an incentive for you to go ahead and fill out the little marketing ad so they can get your name and number and email and then come and take set a schedule to come visit with you. And then once you find out that they got you got them in your house or you've met online or whatever, then that's when you find out at the end that it's not free.
Okay. So you heard that, everyone. There's really nothing free in the world. Even if it's buy one, get one free. Well, I have to buy something. So
exactly.
People are not in the business for that. There are services provided. There has to be some sort of exchange of money or something else to incentivize people to do what they have to do. So that takes care of free. Okay. Now let's talk about some of the changes that happened in April in regards to solar.
So people before the commission board came out and they've reduced the incentives. Basically, it's still very viable and incentives there, but they have reduced the incentives for going and the rate that you're going to get charged with solar. And you can go online and look. So don't take my word for it. Mm-hmm. You can look at what the solar incentives were before and what they currently are starting April 1st of this year. With that being said, they did come back and they brought back up the federal tax incentives for people that purchase. Mm-hmm. So that was 26%, and it's now went back up to 30%. And I just double checked, and it's still stating that it's 30% for people as an incentive when they purchase solar, and that's good to 2032.
2032. But what does that mean? A tax incentive, because we're going to talk about right now. Ronnie just said if you purchase your solar, I purchased my solar. He's my person that I purchased it for, and I was very, very excited when I got my tax credit for purchasing that solar. Okay, now there's three different ways. So thank you, Ronnie. That's why we're doing the video. Okay, because we wanted to get you up to speed to what's happening. So there's three different types. You can purchase, you can lease, and then you can prepay. So let's talk real quick about purchase, because purchase, if you're going to get they have the tax incentive again, right? That's the purpose, right? We want to have the tax credit. Talk a little bit about the purchase part.
So purchase, let's be honest. Most everybody pays taxes at the end of the year. So let's say you purchase solar and it's $20,000 for the service and the process and everything that comes along with it, and you get solar installed on your house. Now, the incentive there is obviously you're going to lower your electric bill. So that's a huge incentive in itself, bottom line. But since you actually purchased, you get to take advantage of that 30% tax incentive. So that means if you purchased for $20,000, you get to take off $6,000. So you get an incentive of $6,000. But that goes along, let's say, when you do your taxes, you find out you're supposed to pay $6,000. Now you have that incentive. Now you would end up paying nothing. Now you still have your payment. If you pay cash, then that's great. Mm-hmm. That's the best incentive and the best return on your investment if you're just paid cash out, but you still get that incentive. But if you don't, you do a loan, then you're going to be paying the loan off. But you still had that incentive that saved you that $6,000 off of a $20,000 purchase. So, and you can go online and then verify all this yourself. So don't just take Ron Wright word or Kathy's word. Get it right from the horse's mouth, the federal government.
Exactly. And then they give you choices, right? So once, right, because everybody's in a different tax bracket, but the incentive of everybody's trying to go green, and with inflation, everybody's trying to save money. So I pay a monthly fee for my solar because I purchased it, and then I got my tax incentive. Okay. So I pay my monthly fee, but I'm still saving hundreds of dollars a month if I didn't have it, especially with the way the prices went up with SDG&E. Okay, so that takes care of you purchasing the solar. Let's talk about the difference. You got purchase, and what's the difference between purchase and lease? Because lease doesn't have the incentive, correct?
Correct. There's the incentive that goes back to the company that installs your solar. So they're willing to give you a valuable product with a service and the warranty. Let's say, one of the big name players is Sunrun.
Mhm.
They'll come out and do everything for you, give you the monitoring, but instead of you getting that incentive of that, let's say of a $20,000 system of 6,000, they would in turn get that $6,000 incentive for installing your solar on your home. And with the way the lease works is, let's say after 20 years, you've made payments, just like, let's say you have a cell phone service. That's exactly what it is. They're going to do a quick credit check. You're already paying SDG&E, San Diego Gas and Electric, but I call them San Diego Gas and Extortion. And then you pay them every month. So it's very simple to get qualified since you've already made these several $100 monthly payments. And now the incentive is you're going to be saving probably a couple $100 a month at least by going solar, but they get the incentive and you make that payment for the 20 years. Then after 20 years, the contract is null and void. Now they don't have to provide any more service to you. They don't have to provide warranty. And then towards the last couple of months of that contract, they'll probably call you up and say, would you like to upgrade to a new solar system? Or do you want to just keep it? And then we're going to come out there and take it off your roof for you and put your roof back to the way that it was before. Well, let's be honest. It's going to cost money for them to send a crew out to your house, take the solar off, fix the roof, and leave. And technology is going to change, but I would say 9 out of 10 times they would just rather just leave it, and they've already made their money, and they're just going to leave the solar on your roof and walk away, and everybody parts ways. But there's no guarantee. But the solar panels, they're good for 20, 30 years. So they're still going to generate. They're just not going to generate as much electricity 20 years from now that they did day one.
Right. So that's almost like leasing a car, right? You lease a car, you make your payments. Sometimes it's cheaper to lease a car than to purchase, but it all depends, right? Because I have a 30-year loan, right? Mine's is amortized a little longer. It could be a lot shorter. Again, you have choices on how you want to manage that. And one thing I really do like about Ronnie is that he's going to make sure that it makes sense. Because if it doesn't make sense, if you're not going to save a couple of $100 a month, then there's no need to get solar. But you need someone to give you an analysis of that. Okay. Let's talk about the prepay. How does that work?
Prepay is where you don't own it, they own it, they get the incentive, but how you come in is they'll set up a prepayment. Let's say instead of $20,000 that you're going to purchase it for, and you don't want to make the monthly payments, you would basically take theoretically a loan and pay, let's say, half of that. So you might come up and pay $10,000 off of it. And it just depends on the rate. And there's a, sliding scale. And what your system requires? What is your household? Are you looking for 100% offset? And that's where Kathy mentioned the analysis. And everybody's different. You could have a huge home and a small bill because everybody's, very conscious of it, and the lights are off all the time and you got the sensors. Or you could have a small house with a huge bill. So the system's got to be geared towards the individuals that live in that house to make sense.
Right. And I can tell you one of the ease of mind is that because you're generating electricity, is that you feel more comfortable with turning on your AC because you need to. Let's get that right, because you need to. You got to turn on the heat because you need to, right? We have families, especially our seniors, that I'm more concerned about because I want them to be comfortable. I don't want them to be cold, like especially we've had a long winter and they won't turn on the heat because they can't afford the bill. So this is hopefully would be able to provide them a solution in regards to helping them maintain and feel comfortable about using their stuff. So we're going to just wrap this up real quick because we really wanted to just make sure we gave you some key points. So you got pros, you always have pros and you always have cons. So what are the pros and the cons of having solar or not having solar?
So the pros and cons of, obviously, I think the best pro would you purchasing your own solar, getting the incentives, lowering your overall energy expenses monthly. And that's your quickest return on your investment, typically 5 to 7 years. If you purchase it outright, you'll pay it off and see the returns. Or lease, which is basically zero down. It's like filing a quick credit app to go get a cell phone. And then once you qualify, they'll install it, and you got a set amount every month for the duration of that lease of 15, 20 years, whatever you decide that you're looking for. And you get the service and the warranty and everything else like that, as well as you get the same thing with when you purchase. The only difference is the lease, you don't get to take advantage of the tax incentive. When you purchase, you do.
Got it. And then the cons of having a solar?
People sometimes are concerned about penetration of the roof,
Mhm.
but that's why these companies carry large insurance. So their contractors are licensed. When they install, if there is a problem, you know, let's be honest, nothing's 100%, but if there's a problem, they'll come back out and they take care of it and fix it.
Mhm.
I've had solar now for 5 years on my house, and I have not had one leak whatsoever.
So so thank you, Ronnie, for your time. So that takes up all what we wanted to do. So Ronnie's phone number is 619-832-6971. So to wrap it all up, there is no free. Somebody's going to be paying for something because we're exchanging services. The changes that happen in April means that if you do purchase a solar, that they have the tax incentive until 2032. Okay. And if you look at the pros and the cons, if Ronnie can help you save a couple of $100 on your bill, then you need to give him a call at 619-832-6971. You need anything from us, just let us know. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.